The scent of lavender, her signature, is the first thing that hits me, even before my fingers brush against the crisp edges of the envelopes. It's wrong. Lavender belongs on her skin, in the air after she's swept through a room, not on official-looking documents stuffed at the back of her jewelry box. I'm looking for my good cufflinks, the onyx ones she bought me for our 5th anniversary, the ones I only wear to the Henderson Charity Gala. But instead of cold metal, my hand finds paper, foreclosure notice. The words are stark, brutal. There are 3 of them, each a nail in the coffin of the life I thought we were building. My breath catches. Ice water doesn't begin to describe the chill that seeps into my bones. It's colder than that, a deep, numbing frost. Sarah. My Sarah. She's been lying. For months. Again? The again hangs there, heavy and suffocating, a ghost of betrayals past. It wasn't always like this. I remember the early days, the golden days, as I call them now, though the gold has long since tarnished. We bought this house, our dream house, with its sprawling lawn and the big oak tree out back, 10 years ago. We were young, flush with success from my software company taking off and her interior design business finally gaining traction. Money flowed. We laughed a lot. We'd spend hours in the kitchen, me attempting to cook while she'd sneak bites of ingredients, her laughter echoing off the granite countertops we'd picked out together. Evenings were spent on the porch swing, planning a future that seemed limitless, her head on my shoulder, the scent of lavender a comforting promise. But the small lies started about a year ago. Little things at first. An expensive dress she claimed was a gift from her sister. A weekend spa trip she said was a work conference. I'd noticed the discrepancies, the slight tremor in her voice when she'd weave these tales, but I'd pushed the doubts away. Love makes you an optimist, or maybe just a fool. I'd reasoned it away. Stress, maybe, or just her wanting to indulge without my sometimes too practical input. Now, the lavender scent clinging to these damning papers feels like a mockery of those memories, of that trust. It's the same perfume she wore when she promised no more secrets after the last incident. That was about some minor credit card debt she'd hidden. A few $1,000s she swore was a one-time mistake. A mistake I'd paid off without much fuss, relieved it was nothing more serious. How naive I'd been. My hands tremble as I spread the notices on our mahogany dresser, right next to her silver-backed brush and the antique tray holding her everyday jewelry. 90 days. That's what the latest one says. 90 days until they auction our home from under us. I do the math, my mind a frantic calculator. She's been intercepting the mail, forging my signature on loan modification attempts, probably. The dates line up with times she insisted on getting the mail herself, claiming she was expecting fabric swatches or client checks. How could I have been so blind? The signs were there, fluttering like red flags in a hurricane I chose to ignore. Each beat of my heart is a sick thud against my ribs. This isn't just about money. It's about the deliberate, calculated dismantling of everything we've built. I dig deeper into the jewelry box, a place I've rarely ventured, a feminine sanctum of pearls and trinkets. My fingers find more plastic, credit cards. 3 of them, names I don't recognize, issued by banks we don't use, maxed out according to the tiny, almost invisible print on the statements tucked beneath them. The statements are also scented with lavender, a faint, cloying reminder of her deception. The foreclosure auction is scheduled for next Friday. Next Friday. My mind snags on the date. That's the day of her monthly brunch. Her precious book club brunch, an elaborate affair she hosts here, in this house she's about to lose, with a circle of women who, if I'm honest, I've always felt looked down on me. The irony is a bitter pill. The ticking clock in my head grows louder. each tick a countdown to an explosion. A cold resolve settles over me, pushing aside the initial shock, the searing pain. I won't confront her. Not yet. That's what she'd expect. Tears, accusations, a scene. That's her arena, where she twists and turns, making me the villain, the one who doesn't understand. No, this time it will be different. A quiet power move is forming in the chaos of my mind, a plan to liberate myself from this intricate web of lies she's spun around us, around me. I carefully place the notices and the cards back where I found them, beneath the lingering scent of her betrayal. My cufflinks can wait. Tonight, something else has begun. The house is quiet. Sarah sleeps beside me, her breathing even, a picture of innocence. The gentle rise and fall of her shoulders under the silk sheets is a familiar rhythm, one that used to bring me peace. Tonight, it's a discordant note in the symphony of my unraveling life. I slide out of bed, careful not to disturb her. The floorboards are cool beneath my bare feet as I make my way to the study. The glow of my laptop screen is the only light, painting my face in pale, shifting hues as I type reputable auction house's city name into the search bar. The irony isn't lost on me. She's probably dreaming of floral arrangements and canapé recipes for her brunch, while I'm meticulously planning the dismantling of our shared existence, one search result at a time. Her lavender perfume, a ghost in the air of our bedroom, seems to follow me even here, a constant, fragrant reminder of the charade. Each click of the mouse feels decisive, a small step towards an unknown future. I look at the names flashing on the screen. Prestige estate sales, heritage auctions. It feels so clinical, so detached from the emotional shrapnel currently embedded in my chest, but this detachment is necessary. It's armor. Morning arrives, and with it, the need for a performance I wasn't trained for. Sarah is already in the kitchen, humming as she measures coffee beans. The aroma of her expensive, ethically sourced blend fills the air, a smell I used to associate with lazy Sunday mornings and shared laughter. Now it just smells like another layer of her carefully constructed facade. "Morning, sleepyhead," she chirps, turning to plant a kiss on my cheek. Her lips are soft, her eyes bright. Too bright. "Big day today, finalizing the menu for Friday. I was thinking those little cucumber sandwiches with the dill cream cheese, and maybe a new Prosecco cocktail I found." I nod, forcing a smile. Sounds ambitious. My voice is carefully neutral. Inside, I'm a raging inferno. The coffee she hands me, in my favorite chipped mug, tastes like ash. While she chatters about whether Penelope will finally admit she didn't even finish last month's book, or if Claire will wear another ridiculously oversized hat, I'm mentally scheduling the removal of every piece of furniture in this house. Later, when she's out for her yoga class, or whatever expensive appointment she's really keeping. I make the call. "Yes, Harrison's auctioneers. I'd like to schedule an emergency estate auction. For Friday. Yes, this coming Friday." My voice is calm, collected. "The contents of a 4-bedroom house. Yes, everything. Can you have trucks there by, say, 10 a.m.? The auctioneer on the other end, a Mr. Davies with a voice like gravel and smoke, doesn't even blink. He quotes a commission, lists the requirements. It's all surprisingly, terrifyingly easy. The main event, he confirms, can kick off at 11 a.m. sharp. Right when Sarah's book club will be dissecting literary themes and sipping mimosas, perfect. The days leading up to Friday are a blur of forced normalcy and clandestine preparations. I find myself studying Sarah, looking for cracks in her composure, for any hint that she knows something is amiss. There are none. She is, as always, flawlessly put together, effortlessly charming. It's a chilling masterpiece of deception. I start making quiet calls to old friends, people we've known for years, testing the waters, trying to gauge loyalties without revealing my hand. Casual questions. Hey Mark, how are things? Haven't seen you and Jen in ages. Sarah mentioned you guys were thinking of renovating your kitchen? That's when the next layer of her deceit peels away. Mark, an old college buddy, sounds hesitant. Yeah, Marcus, about that. Listen, man, Sarah actually asked us not to mention it to you, but she borrowed a bit of money a few months back. Said it was for a surprise for you. Something about an investment. We figured you knew. My blood runs cold. How much, Mark? 5,000. She paid half back. Said the other half was coming soon. 5,000 from Mark and Jen. How many other surprises has she funded with the generosity of our friends? The sound of Sarah's laughter drifts in from the kitchen, where she's on the phone, probably with one of her brunch cronies, confirming RSVPs. It's a light, tinkling sound, utterly devoid of the darkness swirling around us. It feels hollow, echoing in the spaces her lies have carved out. Thursday evening. The air in the house is thick with unspoken things, a strange electric tension that only I seem to feel. Sarah is surprisingly buoyant, a little too cheerful. "Guess what, darling?" she says, twirling into the living room where I'm pretending to read the newspaper. "Mummy's decided to grace us with her presence on Friday. Isn't that wonderful?" My jaw tightens. Her mother, Eleanor. The woman who has never, not once, thought I was good enough for her precious Sarah. The woman whose thinly veiled criticisms have been a soundtrack to our marriage for 15 years. Her presence at the brunch. At this brunch. It's not wonderful. It's escalating. The stakes, already sky high, just shot into the stratosphere. Sarah beams at me, oblivious. Or perhaps not oblivious at all. Perhaps this is another calculated move in a game I'm only just beginning to understand. My quiet power move just got a very unwelcome audience member. The documentation phase begins. I feel like a forensic investigator in my own life, cataloging the artifacts of a marriage about to be publicly autopsied. The musty smell of the basement, a place usually reserved for forgotten Christmas decorations and old photo albums, becomes my sanctuary. Armed with my phone, I photograph everything of value. The antique grandfather clock we inherited from my parents, the collection of first edition novels Sarah prided herself on, the expensive art pieces she'd insisted were investments. Each click of the camera shutter feels like a small act of reclamation, a tiny piece of my power returning. This isn't just about assets, it's about evidence. Evidence of a life built, and a life about to be dismantled. Sarah is upstairs, probably selecting her outfit for the brunch, laying out her pearls, entirely unaware of the inventory being taken below. The thought sends a shiver down my spine, not of fear, but of a grim, burgeoning resolve. Wednesday morning. Sarah's attempts at manipulation, always subtle, now feel amplified, almost desperate. She glides into my home office, where I'm pretending to work, her lavender scent preceding her like a herald. "You've been so distant lately, Marcus," she murmurs, her voice a silken caress. Her fingers trail across my shoulders, a touch that used to send shivers of pleasure down my spine. Now, it feels like a spider's web. "How about a romantic dinner tonight? Just the two of us, like old times." I look up into her eyes. Those beautiful, deceitful pools of blue. This is her method. Physical affection, the promise of intimacy, a well-timed distraction whenever difficult subjects, especially financial ones, loomed. For years it worked. I'd melt under her touch, the uncomfortable questions dissolving before they were even fully formed. Not anymore. "Can't tonight, Sarah," I say. My voice even, my gaze steady. "Big deadline, lots to do." A flicker of something, surprise, annoyance, crosses her face before it's quickly masked by a pout. "Oh, well, some other time then." She drifts out, leaving the scent of lavender and unspoken tension in her wake. I turn back to my screen, but I'm not working. I'm replaying years of conversations, years of her deflections, seeing them now in stark, painful clarity. Each caress, each whispered endearment, now feels like a carefully placed stone in the wall of her deception. The call to Mr. Davies at Harrison's Auctioneers is next. My pulse quickens as I confirm the details. Yes, 10 a.m. arrival for the trucks. The team will be discreet, efficient. They'll have everything loaded and ready for the 11 a.m. auction start. His gravelly voice, so matter-of-fact, is strangely reassuring. It's a voice that deals in endings, in the cold, hard reality of possessions changing hands. And the house needs to be cleared, I state, the words feeling heavy, final. Understood, Mr. Hayes. We'll handle everything. You just ensure access. I hang up, a cold sweat on my palms. It's really happening. There's no turning back now. The sheer mechanics of it are overwhelming. Yet there's a strange sense of liberation in the methodical planning. While Sarah plans her menu, I'm orchestrating the stripping of our shared stage. The contrast is stark, almost surreal. Thursday night. The calm before the storm. Or so I think. Sarah is agitated. She's been on edge since her mother confirmed her attendance, flitting around the house, rearranging things that are already perfectly arranged, snapping at me over minor things like the placement of a coaster. Around 9 p.m., her phone rings. She snatches it up, her eyes darting towards me before she quickly walks into the master bathroom, closing the door a little too firmly. I pretend to be engrossed in a book, but my senses are on high alert. Her voice is a low murmur, impossible to decipher through the heavy wood. But the tone is unmistakable, frantic, pleading. The sound of the faucet running, a classic move to muffle a conversation, does little to mask the underlying panic in her hushed whispers. Who is she talking to? What fresh hell is this? I strain my ears, catching only snippets. Don't worry, handle it. By Monday, I promise. Monday. My stomach clenches. The auction is tomorrow. Friday. What is she planning for Monday? Is this about the foreclosure? About the debts? Or something else entirely? The water stops running. A few moments later she emerges, her face pale but composed. Just one of the girls, stressing about what to wear tomorrow, she says, a little too brightly, avoiding my eyes. Another lie. A clumsy one this time. She's not just planning a brunch, she's planning something else. And suddenly my carefully orchestrated power move feels like it might be about to collide with a desperate counter-offensive I haven't anticipated. The night feels darker, the silence in the house more ominous. Friday morning. The scent of Sarah's ridiculously expensive Kopi Luwak coffee blend, a recent affectation, fills the kitchen. It's a rich, earthy aroma, usually a sign of an impending special occasion. Today, it feels like the opening act of a tragedy. She's a whirlwind of activity, a domestic goddess in her silk robe, arranging elaborate finger foods on silver platters, her movements animated, almost feverish. Cucumber sandwiches cut into perfect triangles, smoked salmon pinwheels, miniature quiches. Completely, utterly oblivious to the fact that in less than 3 hours, removal trucks will be backing into our driveway. My role in this morning's charade is a carefully chosen one. I am the helpful, supportive husband. Need a hand with those, darling? I ask, my voice a calm island in her sea of frantic preparation. She smiles, a flash of genuine warmth that almost makes me falter. Almost. Oh, would you, Marcus? You're a lifesaver. Just the big platter for the fruit skewers, and maybe you could set the table on the patio? The good china, of course. The good china, our wedding china. The one we've used maybe 5 times in 15 years. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. I meticulously lay out the delicate, gold-rimmed plates, the heavy silver cutlery, the crystal water goblets. Each piece is a ghost of a promise, a memory of a life that was, in reality, a carefully curated illusion. My hands are steady. My heart, however, is a trapped bird beating against my ribs. 10 a.m. The book club starts to arrive. First, Penelope, all sharp angles and sharper pronouncements, her eyes scanning our patio setup with a critical gaze. Then Claire, predictably, in an enormous feather-adorned hat that looks like it might take flight. Soon, all four of them are assembled. Brenda, whose husband just bought her a yacht, and Susan, who never fails to mention her son's acceptance into an Ivy League school. Their chatter fills the air, a cacophony of luxury vacations, designer purchases, and thinly veiled boasts. They greet me with polite, distant smiles, the kind you give the hired help. The sound of their artificial laughter, high-pitched and brittle, grates against my nerves. It will be a sound, I realize, that will haunt me later, a soundtrack to this day of reckoning. Sarah is in her element, gliding between them, refilling mimosa glasses, her laughter the loudest, the most carefree. Or so it seems. 10:30 a.m., right on schedule. I hear the low rumble first, the distinct sound of heavy diesel engines. My heart hammers against my ribs. I excuse myself, a tight smile plastered on my face. Just need to check on something out front. No one pays me much attention, absorbed in a lively debate about whether Elena Ferrante is overrated. I walk through the house, each step deliberate, towards the front door. As I open it, the first Harrison's auctioneer's truck is already backing into the driveway. The second pulls up to the curb. They are large, imposing, impossible to ignore. The workers, clad in navy blue overalls, move with a practiced efficiency, already lowering a ramp. I stand in the driveway, a strange sense of calm washing over me. This is it, the point of no return. From the backyard, I can hear Eleanor's voice, Sarah's mother holding court, her laughter a booming counterpoint to the quiet professionalism of the moving crew. For now, no one inside has noticed. The world outside their bubble of brunch and book talk continues, oblivious. The movers begin with the items I'd tagged in the garage, the antique tools, the vintage wine rack. Item by item, our life is being prepared for public display and dispersal. A movement at the bay window catches my eye. Sarah. Her hand flies to her mouth, a perfectly manicured arrangement of shock. The mimosa glass she was holding shatters on the polished hardwood floor, the sound inaudible from here, but her expression tells the story. Then, the scream. It's not a ladylike shriek of surprise, it's raw, desperate, almost animalistic. It rips through the morning air, silencing the chatter in the backyard, cutting through the mundane sounds of the neighborhood. Her book club friends freeze, their own mimosas halfway to their lips, faces a comical tableau of confusion and dawning horror. The scene unfolds in what feels like slow motion. Sarah, her face contorted, bursts from the patio doors, a wild animal cornered. She charges towards me, her eyes blazing with a fury I've never seen. "Marcus, what is the meaning of this? What are you doing?" Before she can reach me, a firm hand grabs her arm. Eleanor. Her mother, her face a mask of bewildered outrage, steps between us. "Sarah, what on earth is going on? Foreclosure notices? The bank called me this morning looking for you. Something about foreclosure notices?" The words hang in the air, heavy and damning. The carefully constructed walls of Sarah's perfect world are not just cracking, they are imploding. The lies, so carefully hidden, are finally, spectacularly unraveling. Sarah's facade, so meticulously maintained for years, for this very brunch, crumbles. It's like watching a statue erode in fast forward, the smooth, polished surface giving way to the raw, crumbling stone beneath. Tears, hot and furious, stream down her face, carving paths through her expensive foundation. Her carefully applied mascara runs, creating dark rivers of despair. "Marcus, please!" she wails, her voice cracking, all pretense of composure gone. She tries to pull away from her mother's grip, to reach me, to somehow stop the inexorable tide of consequences. "You can't do this. Tell them to leave. Please, what will people think?" Her book club friends, Penelope, Claire, Brenda, and Susan, stand frozen on the patio, a Greek chorus of aghast society women. Their earlier chatter about yachts and Ivy League schools has been replaced by horrified, fascinated silence. They exchange wide-eyed glances, their perfect Sarah, the hostess with the mostest, revealed as a fraud, a common debtor. The scent of her expensive lavender perfume, now mixed with the salt of her tears and the faint, metallic tang of her panic, is overwhelming. It's the smell of desperation. I don't raise my voice. I don't need to. I simply walk to the briefcase I'd placed by the front door earlier, a briefcase containing the ammunition for this final battle. I open it and produce the foreclosure notices, the ones I'd found nestled amongst her secrets. My hands are trembling, just slightly, but my voice is steady. 90 days, Sarah, I say quietly, holding up the first notice, its stark red lettering a brand of her betrayal. You hid this for 90 days. And this one. I hold up the second. And this one. The third. Each one is a testament to her deception. Eleanor, her mother, snatches the papers from my hand. Her face, usually so imperious, so quick to judge me, is ashen. The words, "Foreclosure auction scheduled," leap out at her. She looks from the papers to her daughter, then to the moving trucks, then back to Sarah, her expression a mixture of dawning comprehension and utter disbelief. "Sarah, is this true?" Sarah's explanations, when they finally come, are a torrent, a chaotic jumble of justifications and half-truths, tumbling out between sobs. "It started small, a few online bets. Just for fun. Gambling." The word hangs heavy in the air, another secret I never suspected. Then, the credit cards. "I just needed a little extra to keep up. You know how it is, Mummy. The girls..." She gestures vaguely towards her stunned friends, as if they are somehow to blame for her profligacy. Forged documents. "I thought I could fix it. I tried to get a loan modification. I just signed your name. I was going to tell you, Marcus, I swear." Each confession, each desperate attempt to mitigate her actions only serves to liberate me further from the years of guilt and self-doubt she'd so expertly cultivated. It wasn't me. It was never me. It was her choices, her lies. Penelope is the first to break the spell. She coughs delicately into her hand, her eyes avoiding Sarah's. "Well, my dears," she says, her voice unnaturally bright, "I really must be going. So much to do." Claire, Brenda, and Susan murmur their assent, a flurry of hasty goodbyes and awkward air kisses aimed in Sarah's general direction. They gather their designer purses, their faces a mixture of embarrassment and a kind of horrified pity. They are witnessing the social equivalent of a public execution, and they want no part of it. Within minutes, they've scurried away, leaving Sarah alone with her mother and me, amidst the wreckage of her brunch and her life. The auction proceeds with a brutal, impersonal efficiency. Mr. Davies, the auctioneer, arrives, his voice booming as he begins the proceedings from the front lawn. "Lot number 1, ladies and gentlemen, a fine mahogany dining table, seating for 12. I watch, a detached observer, as pieces of our life are paraded before a small crowd of curious neighbors and opportunistic antique dealers. Our wedding china, the good china Sarah had insisted on using just hours before, sells for a fraction of its value. I feel a pang, not of regret, but of a strange, sorrowful finality. These objects, once imbued with so much meaning, are now just things, commodities. Sarah's sobs echo from inside the house, a soundtrack of her despair. Eleanor stands stiffly beside me for a while, her face unreadable. Then, without a word, not to me, not even to her daughter, she turns and walks to her car, her back ramrod straight. She doesn't look back. As the last significant piece of furniture, our oversized, custom-made marital bed is loaded onto a truck, a profound quiet settles over the property. It's done. Sarah appears in the doorway of the now nearly empty house. Her face is tear-streaked, her expensive dress rumpled. She holds a single, small suitcase in her hand. Her eyes, red-rimmed and swollen, meet mine. There's no fight left in them, just a vast, hollow emptiness. "Where will you go?" I ask. The question surprises me. It's not accusatory, not gloating. There's a trace of something else there, something I can't quite name. Concern, maybe. Or just the last dying ember of 15 years of shared history. The house echoes. My footsteps on the bare hardwood floors are loud in the sudden, profound silence. It's an emptiness that feels clean, honest. All the clutter, all the carefully curated props of our life are gone. Only the shell remains. Sarah left about an hour after the last truck pulled away, her mother having circled back, her face a granite mask, to collect her. Sarah took only her clothes, and I imagine a mountain of shame. The lingering scent of lavender is finally, blessedly, fading, overpowered by the smell of dust and emptiness. I spend the rest of the day, and most of the weekend, sifting through the financial detritus she left behind. It's worse than I imagined. Our joint savings account, the one we'd painstakingly built for a rainy day, is empty, wiped clean. Retirement funds, borrowed against to the hilt. Insurance policies, cashed out. Every line item is a fresh stab, a new revelation of just how deep and how desperate her deceptions ran. There's a perverse kind of relief in it, though. Knowing the full extent of the financial destruction, the absolute rock bottom, is somehow better than living in the fog of her lies, constantly wondering, suspecting, but never truly knowing. The truth, however brutal, has a certain clarity. A week later, I'm sitting in the sterile, beige office of a bankruptcy attorney. The coffee the paralegal offers me is instant, served in a styrofoam cup. It's black, no expensive kopi luwak, no fancy blends. It tastes like reality, and I find I prefer it. Mr. Henderson, the attorney, a man with kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor, lays out the path forward. It's not pretty. Bankruptcy is a humbling, gut-wrenching process. Selling the house, even in its current empty state, will barely cover the primary mortgage, let alone the secret second mortgage Sarah apparently took out. There will be years of rebuilding, years of careful budgeting, of doing without. But his words, though grim, are straightforward, honest. There are no hidden clauses, no silken reassurances. "It will be difficult, Mr. Hayes," he says, his gaze direct. "But it's a clean slate, an honest one." A clean, honest slate. The words resonate deep within me. That's all I want now. The following Saturday, I'm packing the last of my personal belongings into cardboard boxes. Clothes, books, a few sentimental items that weren't part of the auction. The house feels cavernous, a tomb of dead dreams. My phone rings. It's Sarah. Her voice is small, broken, almost unrecognizable from the confident, vibrant woman I married. "Marcus, I just wanted to To say I'm sorry. The apology hangs in the air between us, fragile and inadequate. I know it's not enough, she continues, her voice thick with tears. I know I destroyed everything. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I needed to say it. The conversation is painful, excruciatingly so. We talk for nearly an hour. Not about the money, not about the auction, but about us. About the slow erosion of trust, the secrets that became a cancer. Some betrayals, I realize, cut too deep to ever truly bridge. The damage is too extensive. The foundations are shattered. I wish you well, Sarah, I say finally, the words tasting like ash. I hope you get the help you need. I hang up, a profound sense of sorrow washing over me. Not for the life we lost, but for the two people who got so lost along the way. 6 months later. Life is different. I live in a small 2-bedroom apartment on the other side of town. It's sparsely furnished, mostly with second-hand items, but it's mine. I work 2 jobs now. My software consultancy during the day, and evenings I'm helping a friend launch his tech startup. The hours are long, the work demanding. But I sleep better than I have in years. A deep, untroubled sleep, free from the gnawing anxiety that had become my constant companion. The foreclosure is behind me, a finalized chapter in a painful book. The marriage is over, the divorce papers signed and filed with a quiet, somber finality. When old friends ask how I'm doing, how I'm coping, I tell them the truth. I'm free. And I am. Free from the lies, free from the pretense, free from the crushing weight of her secrets. It's a harsh, sometimes lonely freedom, but it's real. Last night, a text message lit up my phone. An unknown number. Marcus, it's Sarah. I'm in a program. I'm getting help. Real help this time. Thank you. Thank you for showing me who I really was. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I needed to tell you. I read it twice. My finger hovers over the delete button. Then I press it. The message vanishes. But a small, unexpected flicker of something akin to hope stirs within me. Not for us. That ship has sailed, sunk, and become an artificial reef at the bottom of a very deep ocean. But for her, maybe. Some betrayals don't just break you. They teach you. They strip you bare and force you to see who you are when everything else has fallen away. I learned I'm stronger than I ever imagined. I learned that sometimes the only way to save yourself is to be willing to destroy everything. And in the quiet solitude of my small apartment, with the city lights twinkling outside my window, I finally understand what it means to be truly, authentically, and peacefully alone. And it's not so bad. It's not bad at all.